is on record that former Nigeria Super Eagles coach and captain, late Stephen Keshi, set the stage for Nigerian footballers to play professional football in foreign clubs, thereby generating wealth, fame, and creating jobs for talented youths abroad. It is on that note the diaspora is taking a look at late Stephen Keshi as a Nigerian diaspora footballer and coach who won laurels for the country. We have interviews with some Super Eagles players, family members, and friends. This and more on the diaspora this week, after this backgrounder by Musbao Dan Wahab.
Last week, the 2nd in June 2016 can absolutely be described as a black week for Nigerian football, one which had never been experienced before and which football fans in Nigeria and Africa will certainly not want a repeat of. Two great sports personalities are judged to be the most successful former coaches of the Nigerian national team, the Super Eagles, died within a space of 4 days. Stephen Okechukwu Keshi was announced dead on Wednesday, 8th of June, and his death was attributed to cardiac arrest. Nigerians and indeed the world mourn the big boss, who will always be remembered for being the first Nigerian and second African to have won the Africa Cup of Nations both as a player and as a coach.
Stephen Keshi becomes only the second man to win as a coach and as a player.
Another former coach of the Super Eagles and technical director of the Nigeria Football Federation, Shuaibu Amadu, was one of those who were shocked by the sudden death of Keshi. He mourned and in fact signed a condolence register in honor of the big boss, as Keshi was fondly called. But little did he know that he was going to enter the grave before Keshi.
He led us in prayer and he was full of life. All he was talking, we were watching Muhammad Ali in the CNN, his funeral, and he was saying, look, this is how we will give Keshi between the procession. That all sportsmen will gather there, will bring them out and give Keshi a better procession, better than Muhammad Ali.
And so it happened that Amadu also passed on, reportedly and coincidentally of heart attack 3 days after the shattering news of Keshi's. While no one contests the inevitability of death, the circumstances and space of time of the demise of the two Nigerian most accomplished football coaches sprang surprise and concern. One question arising now is how do Nigerian coaches manage their health? Do they get adequate remuneration from their employer to do that? And will these devastating incidents not affect the morale of the Super Eagles and further worsen their form as they prepare for another round of World Cup qualifiers? These are some of the questions on the street. These questions are even more pertinent, particularly as the Super Eagles have failed to qualify for 2 succeeding tournaments after Keshi won the African most coveted trophy for Nigeria in 2013.
Let's begin our conversation with Obinna Nsofo, a Nigerian professional footballer in Germany. Good to meet you. Yeah, how are you?
Thank you very much. I'm fine, thank you.
Privileged to see you. Let me shake you again.
It's my privilege also to see you.
Where do you play?
Now I play for MSV Duisburg in the second Bundesliga in Germany. My contract is already due end of this month, and hopefully I'm about to secure another.
The Diaspora program is looking at Stephen Keshi, the late Stephen Keshi. You knew him very well?
Yeah, absolutely. My own opinion, he was a legend. He was a legend. He was a father. He was a leader. He was, we used to call him, everybody, even the players, the boss. He was our boss, and it was a great privilege to have known someone like him, because the little that that I was opportune to be with the Super Eagles when he was involved. Because I was not, in a long time with him. I didn't go to the Nations Cup with the team. I was opportune to be able to, stay with him for few friendly games and, qualifying game to the World Cup, the one that the last game we played against Ethiopia that I even scored the goal that sealed the qualification. So for me, it was a great privilege working with Stephen Keshi. In my own opinion, he was a very, very straightforward person. A person that we, the players, that we call him as a father. When he speaks to us, everyone listens. Yeah, because in terms of his playing days, we were very little. We were very small, and as a football-loving person and as a footballer was, we have that dream to play for the country one day. These are the likes of people that we were looking forward to, to emulate. And having him as a coach, it was a massive honor for us, and he was somebody that, we looked up, we respected a lot, because he not only achieving as a player, being a captain of the Nigerian national team, he has coached other countries as well, taking Togo to the first World Cup in their history. This was a massive achievement, from his own part. But let me leave the football aspect. Stephen Keshi as a person was a very loving human being. A person that, like his son said, he has a lot of sense of humor. We stay with Stephen Keshi, you'll be laughing. This is the truth. We as his players, we always love to stay with him, because interact with him, because he makes us to laugh. We joke around, in terms of football issue and not football issue. So it was, for me, it was a massive privilege to be able to know him as a person, as a coach, and otherwise.
Yeah, and he said that he pioneered professional football in Nigeria. Is that correct?
Absolutely. With his experience in terms of when he played, and in terms of man management. He's a person who knows how to manage a team. A person who knows how to talk to his players. He's a person who knows how to talk to everybody. Also the FA, people that are involved in the football sector. So he was an unbelievable person who really did everything he could do. He even won the African Nations Cup, which I don't think any African God has done that.
Exactly.
So playing with the kind of football he did, and be able to achieve that, for me, is amazing.
It's like it opened the gateway for Nigerian players to ply their trade abroad.
Absolutely, he gave a lot of opportunities to young players who never had or never dreamt in their life to be able to represent their country. Because the truth be said, every dream of a young professional football player who plays outside the country and inside the country is to be able to represent his country. This is the highest.
Right.
This is the highest. For me, I would say I'm fulfilled to be able to play in the World Cup with the national colors of Nigeria. This was my highest dream, and I'm very grateful to God to be able to get to that opportunity, get to that stage, to be able to go to the World Cup, play for Nigeria, also the first World Cup in Africa. For me, it's
That's fantastic.
it's fantastic. So, like I was saying, for every football player, both those that plays foreign and those that play in Nigeria, was to be able to have that opportunity to represent Nigeria, and which he did a fantastic job, giving a lot of players, young players who actually are talented, to come and show themselves in the national colors of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. What's the parting word for the family and the friends and the football federation in Nigeria?
My humble words to mostly the families, family members. I'm getting to know, his son today because it's my first time to meet him. I've never met him before, and as you can see with the interviews, with everything he's been saying about his dad, we don't need too much to add. My advice to the NFA is to be there for the family members now that Keshi is not there.
Thank you very much. It's been nice speaking with you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
Next on our lineup is late Keshi's son, Stephen Keshi Jr. He lives in Atlanta, United States. Hey, good to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you too.
Right. What's your name, sir?
Stephen Keshi.
Your name is Stephen Keshi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Stephen Keshi Jr. or just Stephen Keshi?
Just Stephen Keshi.
Ah, that's nice. Yeah, where are you based?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I have an events production company. So that's what I do. I do special events. I produce special events.
Events like what?
I produce special events, concerts, fashion shows. I'm working on the festival for October, things of that nature.
Hey, what's your educational background?
I went to school for sociology. I went to Morehouse College in Atlanta.
Yeah. Why?
I rarely use the degree, but it was good to go to school for the networking purposes.
Okay.
A lot of the people I do business with now, and a lot of people who kind of help me navigate it through my profession, went to my school, went to the whole AUC Atlanta University Center. Yeah.
That's the problem with human beings. You can go read a course, but your passion is somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So your passion is the other way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, sometimes school's kind of limited to like the professions you could do. Sometimes the degrees available aren't necessarily the things that you want to get into. So, but you have to go to school. There's some things that you still have to pick up. There's some like networking, for instance. You don't pick that up if you don't go to school. It's kind of hard to open yourself up and be able to navigate through life if you don't build that through college.
All right.
Yeah. So regardless of the degree, school is definitely something I needed to do. But they don't have like event production degrees or nothing like that. That's something you have to pick up on your own and kind of just get out there and go do it.
Yeah.
And try it out.
Okay, tell us about Stephen Keshi, your father.
Stephen Keshi's, I guess not too many words you could use to describe him, but he was everything, coach, mentor, father, teacher, preacher. all that stuff in one. Combined, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I like the aspect of saying preacher.
Yeah, a big family man. Families. God and then family for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's look at the professional football that he was into. Mm-hmm. Yes. You know about that?
Yeah.
Please tell us.
Yeah. It was a great coach, great player too. But for me, I felt like he was one of the best coaches in the world. For someone to be so successful in the situation that he was in, it's not easy. So to be able to have the concentration, the temperament, the composure to deal with everything that was going on behind the scenes and still win games is spectacular, and it should be recognized.
Well, this job it keeps father away.
Yeah.
And all that. Did you go with him during his coaching career or playing career?
No, not really. He did a good job of kind of separating us from that scene. But when he was coaching and he was going away for games, always still took care of us, always called us, always came home when he could. Me and my dad had a special relationship. He would call me Mr. Keshi, I would call him Coach. So that's how we greeted each other.
Oh, Oh.
Yeah, you know, he had a big sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he definitely was there for us.
To watch any of his games? Were you privileged to watch?
I didn't get
games?
to really watch him play till like towards the latter of his career. So like Sacramento Scorpions and the Malaysian team was more so my older sisters. I got to watch them play. Just watch them coach though.
Right. Yeah. What will you be missing the most?
His presence, his words, smile.
All right. So let us briefly into his health as a son.
His health?
Yeah.
His health was pretty good. Yeah, of course he had like a knee problem. But his health was pretty good.
Okay. Right. What else have we not talked about? Or you want to say what else about your dad and
Well,
family?
I just want people to kind of remember him for more than just a soccer coach and soccer player. He was a very big family man, a very big man of God, and he was also a humanitarian. So he worked with Greater Tomorrow Foundation, and you know he supplied a lot of primary school kids with computers, and he did just a lot of things for the youth as well. He was big on the youth. Youth development was something that we spoke about. We wanted to start a foundation for, so hopefully we can still continue that, even though he's not here.
Thank you so much. Nice speaking with you. All right. If you're just joining us, this is the Diaspora on the NTA. We'll back right there.
NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA. You can't beat the rich.
Still on Let's Keshi, Victor Ugo is the former vice chairman, Nigerian Diaspora organization, NIDO Americas. He is a bosom friend of Stephen Keshi.
When you leave the shores of Nigeria, you are an ambassador of your country wherever you go.
Correct.
Where are you from? Nigerian. It's no more are you Igbo, are you Yoruba, you are a Nigerian. And at a time when all over the world, all they talk about Nigeria is corruption, 419 and all the rest of them, the only positive thing you have to talk about would be football. Oh, Nigeria played against Mexico the other day and they won 4-0. We saw that your skipper, Stephen Keshi, he was very good. So that's the kind of rebranding that football was given to Nigeria. And also, today we talk about the likes of John Mikel Obi. They were known in England. You're watching Super Sports and they'll be talking about Nigerian-born Emmanuel Emenike, all those guys. That's rebranding our image. That's putting us out there in the positive light. But the question is, who started all those? Before Stephen Keshi, we used to hear of John Chedozie,
Yes.
playing in England, a Nigerian name, not really a Nigerian because he was very far from us, and even when he came here, it was hard for him to adopt. But for us to have real homegrown Nigerians playing in those leagues, it was Stephen Keshi who started it. Back in the days when they were in New Nigeria Bank and what they used to call the Benin Mafia, and they banned them in the national team, him and Henry Nwosu and the rest of them, when they banned them, Stephen Keshi moved to Ivory Coast. And there he became a household name. Before we knew it, he was back to Belgium. Now the guy that was rejected, we didn't want again the national team, we did not have an option than to go beg him to come and play. And he never said no. You guys pushed me out. He never said no, I'm not coming back. He came back, captained the national team, honored every national call. I never had an issue where Stephen Keshi was invited and he said he wasn't come. He didn't keep any malice, just like him as a person. You hear the big boss, and next minute, it doesn't matter what you write about him in the newspaper. He sees you, oh, me, and you sit down, he will laugh. You'll be wondering, why did I write this thing about this man? It's only you that will be asking yourself. We won't say anything about it. So that's the kind of person he is. Keshi was like a brother to me, and when he came to Atlanta, I think, according to him, I'm the only one. He brought his son, and he told his son, this is like a brother to me, and I want you to follow his footsteps and stay close to him. And his son is very, very close to me and my family. And he also works in my office, so that's how close we are. And ironically, 2 days before his death, Keshi called me and said a couple of things. And he said, part of what he said is, I'm going to US. When I get to US, I'll come and spend 1 week with my family, my boys. He calls my children his boys. I'll come and spend 1 week with them. I know the last time he went to Atlanta, he was supposed to go to my house, but when he realized I was not at home, he left. And this time he's coming back. I never knew it was a farewell call. Sitting here, you wouldn't know exactly how big Stephen Keshi is. Go to South Africa. You meet an ordinary South African on the street. Do you know Stephen Keshi? Do you know JJ Okocha? Then, for instance, Atlanta, where I live, it is on record today that the highest crowd ever recorded in the Georgia Dome was when Nigeria played against Mexico prior to the World Cup in Germany. That was the highest crowd ever recorded at the Georgia Dome. It is on record today. Now, when you talk about Georgia Dome, talk about sporting activities, Nigeria is boldly written in gold.
Wow.
And it was Stephen Keshi who pioneered that, who brought the team. If he did not qualify Nigeria for the World Cup, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to play Mexico and achieve such a feat. It was the same thing in Houston, Texas. People came out, non-Nigerians, to an extent that people were clubs were begging to host the Nigerian team. So that's how much image maker he was. Rather than mourning, we should be celebrating his achievement. Here is the only Nigerian coach that has won the Nations Cup as a player and as a coach. The second African. And when you look at the circumstances he won the Nations Cup, it's not like he went there as a coach and took experienced players. He took greenhorns. And because of his fatherly figure, these guys, when after the first 2 matches, Nigerians were expecting them to come home, to an extent that some people bought their ticket and came back here prior to the match against Ivory Coast. And hoping that at the end of the day, they will all fly to their various destinations. All kinds of circumstances surrounding that Nations Cup. And this guy, don't know how happy he was because of things that were happening, but he kept it to himself, put the team together like a father, and these guys resolved, we are going to play for this man. They stopped talking to the press, the players, from nowhere, from 3-0 expectation against Ivory Coast, they came from nowhere to beat Ivory Coast. And before you know it, they won the Nations Cup. It's not like the 94 squad. We knew they were good. We had experienced players. We expected them to win. But these kinds, nobody gave them any chance. And that's what a coach, a good coach, can do to a team.
Many thanks, Victor. Our email remains diasporanта@yahoo.com or text only to +234 80 33114000. That's it for this week. Bye.